Welcome to the video on solving absolute value equations. The first example is -9 absolute value of x plus 6 equals -39. When we're solving an absolute value equation, the first goal is to get the bars or the absolute value by itself on one of the sides of the equal sign. In this case here, we have two numbers that separate us from having the absolute value of x by itself on the left. Those numbers are plus 6, which is added to the absolute value, and -9, which is multiplying the absolute value. Also keep in mind that to move something to the opposite side of the equal sign, you have to do the opposite of what you see. So if we see plus 6, that means to move the plus 6, we will be subtracting it from the other side. So -9, absolute value of x. We used to have plus 6, we don't have that anymore. And then on the other side, I have -39 minus 6, which is -45. Now on to the -9. As I said, it's multiplying the absolute value. So to move it to the other side, I will be dividing both sides by -9, which cancels -9 next to the absolute value of x. That's exactly what I wanted. Now my absolute value of x is by itself. And on the right side, I have -45 divided by -9, which is 5. Now the absolute value is by itself, and it is equal to a non-negative number 5. So the next step is to take whatever is inside of the absolute value, it's the x in my case, and split this equation into two separate equations. Each one will not have absolute value anymore. So whatever is inside the bars, the x in my case, equals the positive 5. And then the second equation is x equals the -5. And that's it. If so happened that the x wasn't by itself in each one of these equations, then you would get it by itself. But for this specific one, our answers are 5 and -5. Let's look at the next example. -2 minus 6 times absolute value of 2x minus 3 equals 46. This one is a little tricky, and the most common mistake that I would see students make is to first subtract this 6 from the -2. This is problematic because -6 is multiplying the absolute value, and then we'll say that 2 is being subtracted from the bars because it's -2, so it's same idea as subtracting it. With that being said, I will be removing the -2, and then I will be removing the -6. So -2, it's going to the other side by addition, so plus 2 here, which leaves me with -6, absolute value, 2x minus 3, close absolute value equals 48. After this, I will be removing the -6. Now my -6 is multiplying the absolute value, so I will be dividing both sides by -6. So now I have the -6 cancel, absolute value 2x minus 3 equals -8. And technically at this point we are ready to split our equation into two equations. Each won't have the absolute value. But because the bars here are equal to a negative number, I will say no solution.